Leaders, welcome to Insight Stories. Today, I'll talk about one of the coaching conversations that I had recently, where the person was so passionate living in his own world that he did not have any touch with reality, and that was sabotaging his life, his career, and he could not see the way moving forward. I'm your coach, Vivek Singh, and you're watching CEO Alchemy. For the sake of anonymity, let's call this person Alex. Alex reached out to me, and when we started having conversation, he was smiling and he said that Vivek, so I went through all the details that I saw on the website. I loved the way you coach, and I'm looking for a coach, and looks like we are going to be a good fit. He was already enrolled for coaching before we could start our breakthrough conversation. The first conversation where we evaluate the person's coachability and see if this is going to be the good fit for both of us. We call that breakthrough, and it's designed in such a way that during this conversation itself, you end up having deep discoveries and causes a shift in you, regardless whether we walk together or not. As we got deeper into the coaching conversation, I sensed the person has no touch with reality. The person, Alex, had worked abroad for many years, uh, but had no savings. And he had given labels to himself that I'm very strategic, I'm very spiritual, I'm very passionate, I love my work. And everything that was happening in his life was not aligned to the statements he was making. So he had bad relation with his manager. His reporting manager would tell him that he's good for nothing. Uh, the projects, he's a tech leader, so the projects that he worked on, those stakeholders did not want him to be the part of the project. Uh, the leaders uh, who he was reporting to related to the project matters, they felt this person uh, is not contributing enough. He took loan and built home for his parents, massive, large home in the village. And the parents have been complaining that they did not need such a home, and they are struggling to manage and clean and upkeep of that home. And Alex is paying the EMI for the loan that he has taken. After 20 years of work experience working in some of the global companies, Alex continues to stay on rent in a city in India. But he had very high idea of himself. He felt that he was strategic, he was altruistic, he was kind and compassionate and empathetic. He was responsible as a son. He was doing every bit as a parent. And he was thinking himself so high that he felt nobody is up to the mark. He had complained against the stakeholders on the projects that he worked that, okay, those guys envy him. He's more strategic, he creates more value, that's why they don't like him. His boss told him that he's good for nothing. And he felt, oh, the boss envies his position, his contribution, his creativity, and the boss is insecure. That's why he keeps saying something like this. Father's complaint looked like unjustified. He felt he has taken so much of pain of borrowing money from the bank to get the house constructed, which the father and mother appear to be complaining about. Uh, he was struggling financially, he was struggling socially, he was struggling professionally, and he still had an idea that he is better than everyone else, and he is doing every bit, and he's highly spiritual, highly thoughtful, highly professional, highly strategic. As we completed the conversation, I felt like telling him what nobody would tell, because he needed to get a reality check. And without any filters, I shared the lack of objectivity, complete absence of vision, and what he is calling strategic is a misplaced thought. And I could see his face. He was smiling, but he was embarrassed. It wasn't easy for that person to take the feedback. But my job as a coach is not to tell you what you want to hear, but to tell you what you need to hear. And that's where we create fast track result. I took a pause, and then I was curious how aligned he was with the feedback. And he shared that, Vivek, it was difficult for me to accept, as you told. But when I look back, I sense that's what I truly have been. I've been trying to please everyone. I've been trying to attract the recognition. I've been trying hard to be visible at work. And he committed to take an action towards that before we completed our coaching conversations. Now, my question to you is, do you also live in a utopian world which has no touch with reality? What others can see, but you look up to yourself so highly that you end up missing the point. You think so highly about yourself that you're blindsided of your gaps, particularly when you're dealing in close relationships. So let me invite you to pay attention to the actions that people around you take against you, the feedback that your wife or your children tell you lightheartedly, or the close friends highlight you in a warm manner, or maybe your parents tell you whenever they tell you something to work on, go deeper, ask them further, get to know where they're coming from and what they mean. And that could be the turning point of your life. Thank you for your time. If you're yet to subscribe the channel, click the subscribe button so that you get updates for our future videos. See you in the next video. Have a beautiful day ahead.